Hello everyone, this is Dexy and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be going over a Xaku build that I created that is rather unique and kind of bridges away from a lot of other builds that you may have seen regarding Xaku. For the most part, the build maintains the same in a lot of aspects, especially when considering the duration, the range, and the strength. The strength you want to get as close to 200% as possible just to make maximum use of gaze. 198% is perfectly fine because it makes it so that you have 99% damage reduction, or defense reduction, not damage reduction, when it comes to enemies. Get as much range as possible. 267% is plenty enough. Usually you want to aim to go over about 250%. And then just a little bit more duration. Something that is unusual is the amount of efficiency. This is primarily to make use of Brief Respite and Augur Reach's passive, which makes it so that whenever you cast abilities, it gives you shields depending on the amount that is spent energy-wise. So obviously a higher energy cost will net you more shields back. And I will go over why this is rather important in a little bit. But it also makes use of the Spectrosiphon build, or the Spectrosiphon augment, and the Spectrorage ability. This makes it so that your energy problems that you will obviously have with 45% efficiency are basically non-existent, because a 50% chance to drop an energy orb for pretty much any given enemy that is around you is really, really strong, and energy orbs will be dropping left and right. It's a very, very, very good ability. And actually makes Spectrosiphon Spectrorage worth subsuming, and if you haven't already, I would probably recommend doing it now, just because of the massive amount of energy that you can actually net from this. When it comes to Arcanes, obviously you want Arcane Energized because, you know, the efficiency is low, but you obviously don't need this. It just makes your life a lot easier when you use it. When it comes to Arcane Eruption is one of this build's primary sustainabilities, just because whenever you cast an ability to gain your shields back, you will also suction in energy orbs that have been created using Spectrosiphon, and that will knock down nearby enemies within, I believe, a 30-meter radius. I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not, but it makes it so that any enemy that was previously shooting you gets knocked down on the ground, and that makes it a lot easier to survive. With that being said, that's pretty much the main gist of the build. When it comes to the actual use of the build, typically what you want to do is whenever your shields go down, which I'll go ahead and showcase that right here. I'm going to cast my 4 just to give you a realistic depiction of how it kind of looks whenever you're actually in game. So I'm going to lose my shields here. If they can hit me. There we go. So you cast your Spectrosiphon twice, and that will give you your shields back. And then whenever you collect an energy orb, it knocks them down, obviously. So it makes it so that whenever they're shooting you, they will not be able to anymore because they're on the ground. This is actually pretty powerful, and will make it so that you are a lot more, you're a lot less prone to dying to more powerful enemies. On top of that, whenever you kill an enemy within Spectrosiphon's reach, it makes it so that... Go ahead and slap on invincibility because this is not testing the sustainability now. Do that. Then I'll go ahead and do this. And the cool thing about this build is that Spectrosiphon is actually about the same reach as Gaze is. So enemies that walk within Gaze's reach will pretty much guaranteed be affected by the mirrors, because the mirrors actually have a radius that extends past the mirrors. With this build, it's about 10 meters, so enemies do not have to be within the mirrors in order to be affected by them. They just have to be within 10 meters, and they will be affected by it, and they will be dropping extra energy orbs as a result. So a lot of energy orbs will be dropped with this ability. You'll be stripping their defenses a lot. Whenever you lose your shields, all you have to do is just do this, which will knock down enemies, and you will gain your shields back. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the build. I'll go ahead and switch over to some gameplay so you don't think that this is some weird gimmicky build that only works in lower level missions. Actually, this build seems to have the same problem that Nidus has, in that it only seems to work in higher level missions, because otherwise enemies will just die so damn fast and they won't ever be able to reach your or get within the reach of your mirrors to actually drop energy orbs and the likes. So this build actually does get quite a bit harder to use at lower levels and a lot easier at higher levels, and especially when you're playing solo. But yeah, so you want to let me know what you think of the build in the comments, especially after you see the gameplay. At base level, or at face value, this build looks kind of gimmicky and weird, but hopefully the gameplay will kind of show you guys how I use the build to properly sustain myself and kill enemies in a rather quick way, even in MOT survival. So yeah, I'll go ahead and shift over to the gameplay and hope you guys enjoy. I will see you guys later and hopefully in the next video. Bye bye.